course are up your right hand side. But it's a little spotty twerk going, go on, we're going to do a Murcielago, yeah!
No, you're not.
Got a big fat bifter in his mate's hand. Yeah, let's do it, man, it's orange.
So, welcome, Challenge the Road, Dean. Here we go, Road Racers Part 3. Lamborghini Murcielago.
The one I've
SV.
always wanted to drive.
Is it what you thought it would be?
And more. It's the one that scares me the most.
Scares me the most.
Yeah, it's the one that I genuinely think it could all go very wrong very easily. And I kind of love that.
Well, it's got this beautiful V12, 670 horsepower, the last of the Lamborghini engines before it went to Audi.
The last of the Mohicans.
And it's got that noise and how that Mizzarini engine. So second gear, it gets rear brakes, which it needs.
Feel my face going. Need to pick it back
Feels
up.
like that, doesn't it? So this one's a little bit quicker than the others. We've been in. Steering feels really good. Nice steering wheel again, nice and thin. The rim, suspension, I think everyone's going to be really surprised. It's very supple in here. I haven't really got much of a problem with the suspension at all.
No, no, no.
Nice.
It's so much smoother. Just like I was surprised with the Scuderia, I'm surprised how comfortable this is to drive. I'm also quite surprised after driving the Scuderia and the GT8 how taken aback I am at the sheer aggressive acceleration on this thing. It is, you know, I've had posters of these things on my wall since I was a kid, and this particular car I've always wanted to have a go in, and it's, I didn't know what to expect.
It's very, very serious, isn't it? And I say it's a lot more, we're not mucking around.
It's a dangerous
serious car.
Yeah, that is a dangerous piece of machinery, and I love it. I love the colour. I love, oh mate, I love the fact that the name of the car and the LP670-4 Super Veloce, the name is as long as my arm. Like you haven't got a full lung full, you can't actually say it, but mate, different.
So what's your sort of first impressions? Because it took you aback, and the acceleration at first, and the rawness.
Well, the first impression was this morning when it was in your garage, and it was a foot and a half wider than everything else, and it's such an imposing vehicle. The colour obviously doesn't blend in, but it's a massive vehicle. But I feel like with that amount of sheer grunt and power underneath you, you need something that's got a, you know, that's got some substance to it.
It's got huge rear tyres, 335 on the back, but only an 18-inch rim, a bit like an F40. But I say, driving it, it just feels a lot more serious. You've got to really concentrate in this car,
yeah.
And that's one of the keys. I think you go out and you know you've been for a drive, and you feel so connected. I feel like also the vibrations are coming right through this seat, which I know Lamborghini sort of has anyway. But you feel like you can almost feel that engine pushing you along.
Yeah. I feel a bit sick, to be fair.
Yeah. It's a
well,
I did say the first 6 times I went in it, I had butterflies.
Yeah, nervous.
And it feels a bit like that.
Yeah.
So I say the suspension is just one setting, so this is it, and I think it's pretty good. The gearbox, there is a coarser mode which we're in now for faster upshifts. Most of the time you just use the paddles. Single clutch gearbox again, but as you'll see, I think it's fine. You can just lift the throttle on the upshift just to smooth it out. So
I'm really surprised with the gear changes and the upshifts and when you're lowering down, simply because when I've seen people review the cars, there's been the odd person that said it's a bit clunky, a little bit sort of dated, feels smooth, and I can't personally see what they were talking about, and certainly not in the passenger seat anyway.
I think the trouble is as well is that when people have these cars, they have them for a short amount of time, so they can't really adjust. Like I said to you, you've got to adjust your throttle,
Yeah.
and with your foot be very careful at low revs, otherwise you're bouncing. But this engine really gets going, and you see then on that upshift, that's very smooth. So I mean, I got this car from VVS, and it's the first one I've ever seen in real life was when I was there, and I remember the Richard Hammond video from Dubai. And
Yeah.
I thought, wow, you know, that's one of the greatest ever videos from Top Gear, I think, when he's out there in Dubai on them sand dunes racing that SLR Mercedes. Very few of these. Well, you know, I think there's 5
Yeah.
in the UK right-hand drive. There's only 2 in this orange colour. I think the colour absolutely suits this car perfectly. So,
Well, I said it the first time you took me to VVS. I said if you're going to get a Lamborghini, which in my opinion is pretty much the ultimate hypercar, when you look at one, there's nothing design-wise you would do to make it more aggressive, because they are as aggressive as you can pretty much imagine. The power under under your bum is exceptional. But I always said that if you're going to get a Lambo, get it loud and proud and in a really racy colour, and you did well, Richard.
it doesn't disappoint, does it?
No, not in any way, shape or form. The point and squirt it's unnerving, and I quite like that, you know.
Well, I think we said that this car is just a little bit more serious, maybe a little bit more dangerous than the others. So if you were going out for a drive, you've got to be quite careful. You've got to be on your guard, because if you put your foot down and that steering wheel is not straight, it is going to eventually bite you.
Yeah.
So the lovely thing is this first gear. Look at that. The first gear does 70 mile an hour. That was up to about 60. That's 70 mile an hour, but it's still enjoyable at low speed, which is this whole road racer thing, isn't it?
I feel like this is one of the few cars you would never get used to.
No, it's, yeah.
So if you was to buy,
you're never going to get bored.
No, if you was to buy a road racer, something you're going to take out once, twice a week, have a bit of fun in it, and never ever get bored, never really take it, or never master the entire animalism of the machine, this is probably the one.
And it sounds different all the time. It is.
Mate, that V12 is so sexy.
So I was really pleased to get you in it now, because I know I've been talking to you about the Murcielago, haven't I, for a while, and I know the GT8, we love that, the Scuderia, the M3. They're all different types of cars though, aren't they?
They are, and the thing that strikes me is actually on paper, 0 to 62 between the Scuderia and this is 0.3 of a second.
Yeah.
It feels so much more.
And
This feels so much more aggressive.
I think you're quite shocked by it, actually, aren't you?
Yeah, I am. I'm really sort of taken aback. And you know, they say you should never meet your heroes. I sat down and had a beer with the late great John Wilson, an angler that I'd always wanted to meet and sit and listen to his stories. I met Serrano Fines. Both guys were absolutely superb. My other number 3 is Arnold Schwarzenegger. You know, probably never going to do that. But when you drive a car and it doesn't quite live up to your expectations, especially when, you know, they're kind of dated.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's
a 20-year-old design now.
This is everything I was hoping it would be. And like I said, bearing in mind we've driven the M3, which is not a slow motor, the GT8, which is certainly not a slow car, and the Scuderia, which is a performance race-tuned Ferrari. This still feels like it's in a completely different league.
And this engine howls, and it's got so many different sounds, organic sounds, I'd say.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
that's the thing. There's nothing made up about this car. And also, it's like the showstopper, isn't it? I mean,
Well, put it this way: in all the other cars so far, we've had a laugh and a giggle and experienced and appreciated the point and squirt of the Scuderia. The M3, we were just sort of enjoying it because it's such an easy car to drive. It's got everything you want. The Aston, we was laughing, joking, like giggling schoolgirls because it's such an amazing car that makes you feel $1 million. In this one, we haven't done much laughing or chatting because it's a very serious car to drive.
And we spoke about when Evo done the first review of this car, they actually crashed the car, which I said, which is quite nice to tell you just before we get in. But it was raining and in Wales and in the winter, but in the dry, it's a great car. But you have to be just careful with that front end because it is going to understeer, and you're going to have to slow yourself down and then come out the corners with the power straight.
Yeah.
Because it's got a lot of weight in the back, that huge engine there. Right, we'll do that, we'll stop there. So, Dean, first impression?
I'm a bit nervous, I'll be honest with you. I mean,
See the brakes?
oh yeah, the brakes,
on the top.
really grabbing, yes.
Just that little lift on the accelerator when you change up. That's a little lift on it. This feels quick.
That's,
So be careful.
yeah, you got to get used to that. It's not that I can't handle it, it's
That
just...
felt quick for me. I was thinking,
Did it really?
When you change gear, it was an instant push.
You like my changing though, when
So-
you pick that up quite quick, eh?
Yeah.
Mate, that is an absolute animal. Could do a left hitch.
Yeah.
I can't hear. In my head.
You can stay in seconds.
Oh well.
That's all right. And then just keep it nice and smooth, but not full throttle, just smooth movements. That's it. Let it rev. Let it rev out. Right, that howl from the engine.
That's amazing. That's the best car I've driven in my life.
When you put off the accelerator, it goes boom, 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 doesn't it?
That is.
Serious.
Yeah, but it's worse in your seat than it is mine. You're crapping yourself, aren't you? Because I was.
Oh, I'm fine. Oh, I love feeling that push in the back when it goes.
Mate, honestly, it's terrible when you're sitting in that seat. I felt sick.
Oh.
Now I'm just. I'm elated. Like I
said I think it's
kind
one
of
of the
emotional.
greatest cars.
Honestly, kind of emotional.
Because it's so raw and it's just like a pent-up aggression in the car.
I don't even feel like I'm sitting straight. I feel like I'm pointing that way.
You're not sitting straight.
No, I'm
Because
not.
when they designed it, they forgot to put about the driver's going to sit, so you're sitting that way. But it doesn't matter.
No, it
Because
don't
it's
matter.
the best design.
And my head
You know.
keeps smacking against the roof.
Yeah.
My hips kind of don't fit in the that downshift. Oh, just to rub it in everywhere. But that's the most special car I've ever driven.
Right, okay. That's the one.
Oh, the GT8 is phenomenal, right? I love the manual gearbox and the noise and stuff, but Richard.
So let's put it in Corsa. And just stay in first. Stay in first. Keep going. Keep going. Oh, second. And it wants to go, doesn't it? And rev.
There's
and
not,
go again.
There's not a road long enough in the UK that's going to get. That's.
So you see why I like taking this out then? Because it just gives you that rush that you just.
Now this is my issue now, because if we're going to compare all four cars, people are going to watch this and go, of course you're going to choose the one that costs 350k. But for what was the M3? 30k? 13k. That's a lot of motor. It gives you so much joy. Do you know what? I'm kind of a little bit. It's difficult to talk because you're concentrating even at low speed.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's got you all the time.
It never lets.
No, you can't.
The downshift at 20 mile an hour. Look at that.
There's no let off. The brakes, you have to be precise.
Yeah.
The accelerator, you have to be. So you have to be better. That's what I like. You've got to get better at it all the time, and it's never the same.
This is. I am so glad it is what it is.
Well, you said about the Dubai video, didn't you?
Yeah.
To me earlier on, and now to be in that car.
Oh, I'd love to take this on the strip. I'd love to take this on the strip.
So the Murcielago, I think, is one of the prettiest Lamborghinis made, and the design. And I know with the SV, it's got the body kit, but I do think it works well,
doesn't it?
Yeah. And as I say, it was designed without having a driver, so that's why you're all off centre.
This is so good round the corners, man. This is amazing round the corners. Oh, mate. Yeah, there's not.
I had the Aventador, and I didn't like it that much because the steering was electric, and it moved when you were driving. It would go heavy and then light, and then to go back to Murcielago, and then it feels like it's a better car.
It's got a very similar sort of feel to the steering like the GTA. It's firm, and every single millimetre that you move this steering wheel, the car responds perfectly. Like there's no. I know exactly where I am with it. I'm completely aware that at any second I could die, which is probably why I'm absolutely buzzing. But
it does feel like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I could knock that lady right off her bike right now, just through the sheer sound and acceleration of it. Bless you, I won't if you're watching this. But this is every bit a hypercar like this should be. The V12 sounds amazing. You know, I actually feel like when we put our foot down, this is, I don't know what it's like on decibels or anything like that, but this does for me feel like the loudest car that we've been in.
Because the engine's right there, I think but outside is.
I see it.
Yeah.
I can see it wobbling when I put my foot down.
You go.
And it's really nice to drive. You know, unlike what I felt like the Ferrari was just wanted to go all the time, and like I felt like I had to drive it fast to get the best of it. Like I'm enjoying driving this quite slow because I need a bit of a break in between those bad moments. Yeah, because otherwise I think I'm just going to explode.
That's how it feels.
You can't get enough of this, but you have to know when to.
When you get out of this, you have to take a bit of a moment just to sort of get yourself together.
Yeah,
I think this isn't real world. This is, you know.
I've actually got like a shaking sensation going through my body right now.
So back it off here. Just brake, keep braking. And then just go. And then we'll just run through and then go.
This is unbelievable.
And that feel.
The down change. I just want to keep dropping the gears.
I know.
It's such a shame. It is such a shame that you can drive this on the road because you just want to take it to an airfield and unleash all hell.
I know.
Like I don't believe in like I like a Marvel movie. So you know we see all these movies with like black holes that transform you to different like galaxies. Like if I drove this to its complete max power, I feel like I would transform myself to a completely different warped world or something. Honestly, it's like there's nothing, when you put your toe down in this, there is absolutely nothing else you think about on the planet.
No, well you can't.
You can't.
You're so serious. When we first got in, we didn't talk, did we?
No.
So I said, when are we starting the video? Because we haven't said anything, because this is so serious. And when I first accelerated, you said your stomach, the feeling,
Yeah.
you get it. And when you...
But what did you feel like just then? Like, because in the passenger seat, when you know you're in quite a dangerous motor and you're not in control, you know, we're both reasonably comfortable behind the wheel, so there shouldn't be any issues. But I always feel a bit twitchier there than I do here.
It's a bit like when you're watching something in fast forward. You know, with
That's exactly
the
how I
trees.
felt.
The trees are going, whoa, when you're in this going.
Yeah, because you know,
and you sort of go further back, but there's nowhere to go.
your peripheral vision kicks in when you're in that seat,
Yeah.
but here you just like tunnel vision.
I'm seeing everything go.
It's like too quick, isn't it? Mate, yeah, now we're just chilling, now we're just poodling back to the garage. Now I'm having a laugh and a joke, but any vehicle that you get in and you have to concentrate that much that it's hard to talk has my undivided attention, and I feel like
You've got to respect this car. That's the big thing. You've got to respect it because it's got that huge V12.
you gotta love it, man. You gotta love it. You know, you might drive past it, or we might drive past you and think, and you might instantly think, too much. Don't like the colour. It's a bit too big, but I tell you what, it is everything a man could want in a car.
And the newer Lamborghinis, the Aventadors, are a lot wider than this. You wouldn't want it any bigger. You can't drive them. I saw the SVJ was a foot longer, and you know, it's 10 inches wide. It's too big.
Yeah, that's
too big for the road.
This is
so conclusion then. So this is number 4. Well, we're gonna go back and do a verdict, aren't we?
There's my
you were
conclusion.
GT8. What are you gonna?
Well, no, I mean the GT8 still makes you feel special. The GT8 still makes you feel special. So
the GT8 is a still special car. They're all special, aren't they? There's no bad cars.
Oh hell no!
It's just a case of
no, but the GT8 has something about it that makes you feel special, and the gear, and the fact that it's a manual gearbox, and you have to be so engaged with the car, you know, is a massive plus. The Scuderia, for me, I enjoyed that in really short bursts.
Yeah.
And actually, I didn't necessarily enjoy it that much when I was just poodling around the town. This thing commanded my respect and undivided attention, whether I was doing 20 or 17.
But even sitting in here now, I feel like I'm rocking.
I'm twitchy. I'm twitchy. I'm like that. Like this is the best car of like the best super hypercar I've driven. This is like the one. Yeah, absolutely. This is amazing.